wonderful stuff that they made. So they started making 3-ply and even some, I think, a little less for the home cook. And they are wonderful. They're beautiful pieces. I actually have them on display in my kitchen where they're there all the time, where people can see them when they walk in my kitchen because I'm one of those folk who is a true pothead.
That part. Me too. Different types of pots.
Different kind of pot. All right. So here we go. Wipe them down.
Wipe it down because I'm on
the dry paper towel to get started. Now, the reason we season them is that when you look at these, most people would think that they're already non-stick and ready to go. In fact, they're not. You actually have to season them just like cast iron to get them to the proper state of being that nice egg won't stick and pass the egg test.
And so when you say season, you talking like salt and pepper? Salt and pepper's here.
No. Seasoning is what we call the process of making this cookware non-stick. Now, the way you do this is that we're going to actually layer this with coats of oil.
Okay.
I have a second oven set at 400 degrees.
You gonna put the pots in the oven?
I'm going to put the whole pot in the oven.
My pots can go in the oven?
Yes, these can go in the oven.
I got to find me some good oven mitts.
And I'm going to be using, and I suggest that you use the oil that you can eat. Don't season them with inedible oil. That just, don't do that. All right. So I'm using an oil with a very high smoke point that I like to use. The two that I usually use when I'm doing this process is I'll either use a grapeseed oil or I'll use a linseed oil. You also can use canola oils and things of that nature that have a very high cook point. And I'm actually going to just pour some in there. Now, be careful when you pour it in there. Don't start with a whole lot. Just see how it's just a little bit, a little drop. We probably should have showed you that. See a little drop of oil there. And we're going to spread it around with this paper towel. We want a thin coat. You want a really nice thin coat of oil all the way around. Get the edges, get all that goodness of that grapeseed oil all up in there. And if you could actually see this clear, you can very barely see that oil is there. And we're going to do the other one, the same thing. I'm actually going to use the oil that's remaining on the paper towel from the other one. I think I might need to put just a little bit more.
A little juice
on that one. And I'm not even going to pour it into that because I want to make sure that I maintain a nice thin layer of oil.
Still give it good light, so it don't matter.
All right. And then we're going to take this in our oven at 400 degrees. Put them both in. And we're going to actually go with those for about 30 to 40 minutes. Then we're going to pull them out, let them cool, repeat the process with another thin layer of oil, put them back in for 35, 40 minutes, pull them again. I'm going to do a third coat. I usually like to do a minimum of about 3 coats. The more coats you do, the better actually it should be in terms of bonding and all of that good stuff. Now, having said that, the other thing that people don't know about this kind of cookware is that this is not a one-time process. You're going to periodically have to do it over and over again.
Over and over again. All right, go ahead.
If you do a lot of cooking, you may be looking at probably at least twice a year. I mean, if you're trying to cook for business and do a lot of cooking, you may be looking at once a quarter. If you're a light cook, you may actually be able to get away with doing this once a year. The wonderful thing about this kind of cookware also is that if you're doing it right and managing and taking care of your cookware very good, doing a good job at it, you'll have to do it less and less as it gets older and older. And the amazing thing that I love about this kind of cookware on this level is that the more you take care of it, the better you take care of it, the more you season it, the less you have to do it, and the more non-stick, the better the non-stick surface gets over time. I mean, everybody likes to see that person who can take an egg and just don't even just flip it over like that. This is how you get that kind of cookware. It's through this process. It's this level of cookware in terms of its quality. And then it's this level of care that you actually have to give to it in order to be able to get that kind of surface. All right, so what are we going to do? Are we going to take a break and come back after we got this pot pie out, or we get the seasoning pots out and let them see and do the next process? And then so we've got about 7.5 minutes, 7 minutes 30 seconds on this pot pie coming out. So we're going to come back to you and talk to you again. It's probably not going to be 7 minutes for you, but it's going to be 7 minutes for us. And we'll come back and let you see if we made a mess or bless.
That point. I'm trying to see if I can get them to make the rest of this cornbread. So that part. We're going to tap back in, and hopefully my light be charged by then, and I'm going to have another cup. So there's that. Okay. Bye. So at this point, the pie crust looked a little brown, and I'm hot. Y'all know I'm always hot, but I'm real warm right now. And my daddy tried the wine, and he is not fucking with it. He said it's too many. So he tasted I'm gonna show y'all what else we tried today. All right. So the Andre's peach Bellini.
Wonderful.
He liked this one. I ain't fooling with it. It's okay, but it's too sweet for me.
It's the kind of wine that makes you know you need to take your sugar medicine.
You definitely better shoot up after this one or before. So we got a couple more minutes before we take the pot pie out the oven. Then you gonna make another? Oh, you melting butter.
Yes.
You gonna make the rest of the cornbread though?
I do remember skillet out. You know what? We try to do it with the skillet after we season. See how well it non-stick works.
Okay.
That'll be a good experiment. Make sure we season it.
Let's make sure we got it right. It's only 5 o'clock. I gotta do better with my life.
All right. Well, cooking show, y'all other show looks kind of clean.
See? Is that Conic playing?
No, that's Count Basie.
I don't know who Count Basie is. Little known factoid, I love jazz music and I love Harry Connick Jr. He's my favorite. Well, he's not my favorite jazz musician. It's actually Kenny G. However,
don't tell nobody else that.
However, I do love Harry Connick Jr. He's the second, and I actually like Michael Bublé as well. But I don't know what he'd be considered jazz.
Yes, he is considered jazz.
So we getting ready to take our pie out?
I'm trying to make sure I'm ready to butter it down when we come out of here.
Let me butter you down. So many ways to butter you. Yikes. When your pot will come with metal tags